Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a small modular home which is inspired by another set of photos I've seen online. Like my previous build, I feel like a lot whenever I do see photos online of homes that I like, I'm always just like, okay, I have to make this in The Sims. So be prepared to hear me say that a lot. Just warning you guys. But one of the reasons why I've also wanted to do something smaller than my previous home build or house build was because I've been watching Miss Griffey's tiny homes, just all of her tiny home videos, and I love them. I love how she can like fit everything in such a small space. I don't know if I personally could do that, but I will try. I am interested in doing tiny homes just because, I don't know, it's cute and it seems like I love renovating apartments or remodeling them, and a lot of the times they're pretty tiny, so maybe a tiny home or doing tiny homes too won't be such a bad idea. But anyway, here we are with pretty much the base of the house. I do adjust it a lot, and I just couldn't decide how big I wanted it to be or how small, how narrow. So I do change that up, but this is pretty much what it looks like at the end. And I do really like it. I actually shared photos of this build on my Facebook, and a lot of people were like, did you upload this on the gallery? Please tell me you uploaded it because I want to download this for my game. So since I did say that, it is up on the gallery. I think it's been up for about a day now, maybe 2 days. I'm trying to make the most of my time right now, and I'm just recording videos, editing them, and doing the audio as well as, you know, as much as I am able, because I do have a lot of free time right now, which I am still job hunting as of today. So hopefully by the time this video goes up, I do have full-time work already. I do have my fingers crossed. I have an interview later on in the afternoon, so again, fingers crossed. So here in the kitchen, this is pretty much what it ends up looking like. I think I try to make it a little more compact. I don't quite remember. I do move the stove elsewhere instead of keeping it there. I really wanted to use this table, but for some reason the chairs just weren't snapping to it automatically. I don't, or was it? It looked like it did, or maybe I jammed it in myself. But anyway, I wanted to use that table, but I end up using that one, and that one's pretty set. And like I said, I do move things around a lot. I just couldn't quite figure out how to make stuff fit where it made sense. In the end, I moved the front door to the other side to the left side of that wall where it is now, instead of on the right side, and that made sense to me. Everything just fit better when I did that. So I'm glad I decided to move it, even though originally I really wanted it on that side. The bathroom is a little tinier than I'm used to, but I like how it came out. I surprisingly used smaller tiles. I usually use like bigger tiles. I just like the look of bigger tiles, or just one kind of concrete floor, I guess you can say. But no, I really like how it turned out. I think it's just this weird thing I have about small tiles where I don't like them as much, and it's the same in the kitchen. If I ever mentioned, we have the small tiles for our counters and I hate them so much. I told my husband I really want to change them to granite. I like the look better of one solid counter space. You know, I hate the little nooks and crannies in small tiles. I don't know, I'm just being weird. I think it's a clean thing for me. Like I feel like a lot of dirt gets trapped in those. Granted, I clean them a lot more so than my husband does. But anyway, I've never used this shower before, and I don't know why, because I really like it. I like the glass, how it looks. I actually also do like the small tiles for where the shower head and like the faucet handles are. And so I kind of did the walls in the bathroom similar to that, those tiles. What else is going on here? I do clutter up the space pretty nicely, I would think. Not too much that the whole space is just full of clutter, but I do clutter enough, in my opinion. I did not get lazy like in my last build, so yay! I do remove the walls as well in certain parts of this build, just because it was hard for me to kind of see what I was doing with the walls up. I also managed to squeeze in a little laundry nook because, like I mentioned in my previous videos, I love being able to do laundry in The Sims, which is funny because I personally hate doing laundry, and I think I've mentioned this already before. I hate doing laundry because I feel like it takes so much time. My husband also does not do the laundry because he knows I don't like the way he folds clothes. And sometimes he leaves it in the dryer, and so they all get wrinkly and I just get upset. So it's better that I do the laundry. That way, as soon as they're out of the dryer, I can fold them up right away. So you see me here adjusting that hallway area to be bigger. In the photos I saw of this space, they do have like closet space or storage space. So I tried to do that, but it didn't quite make sense, so I just removed it altogether. And there we go with the washer and dryer. I did play test this house a little bit. I did not, however, get to test the washer and dryer if they work, so that's one thing to keep in mind. Make sure to try it. Feel free to move it around or even just remove it altogether if you do download this house in the gallery. I've been obsessed with the big closets lately, and I would have loved to be able to fit one in this bedroom, but it didn't make sense to fit it in this bedroom. Like, it was cramped enough already, and the sim I had in this house can get to the bed just fine. So instead of having, you know, the actual closet, I did the dresser, which worked out, and then I just had that like clothing rack for any clothes that she needs to hang. Here in the kitchen, I do play around with different brick textures because I'm obsessed with brick. I really love the look of brick. I decided to go with this black one instead of I forgot what it was called, the plaster one, where it's kind of like exposed brick, but not just straight up brick, like the plaster one. I've been using that a lot, so I'm glad I didn't use it in this build. And there we are. I'm just putting in the floors, the wallpaper. In the kitchen, I did try to put more kind of storage space. So I wanted shelves originally right there by the fridge, but then I was like, I have this nice little corner counter, like why don't I put something there instead, because that's probably a counter that, you know, your sim won't use much, or anybody in general, I don't think a lot of the time they use corner counters. Like we do have a corner counter in our kitchen, and I just have my KitchenAid sitting there. If I need to pull it out, I will pull it out and put it on our island counter instead, because that's where it's easier for me to use it. So I like this. I like the kitchen. I just realized I did play test this house, but I did not check to see if the stove worked with those pots on top of it. So another forewarning, I'm sorry, I thought I play tested everything. I just wanted to make sure everything else worked, but clearly I did not check everything actually. So if for some reason your sim can't cook on the stove, just feel free to remove that pot. I just saw it and I thought it was cute and wanted to put it there. And as usual, we have the paper towels, the hand soap. Those are pet snacks, I think, but it's not obvious when you size them down, and I thought it was just a cute little clutter piece, so I did put that there. Nothing too crazy with the walls for the rest of the house. Nothing crazy with the lights either. I feel like I use those ceiling lights a lot and just size them down. I did put drains by the washer and dryer, just because puddles tend to form when you do the laundry. I found out, so I put that there. I feel like I should put drains in the kitchen too, maybe, or maybe even the bathroom. I don't know. I don't like, technically I can size them down so they're not too obvious, but I haven't really been putting them. I think I've only ever had like one build where I did put it in the kitchen, but most of the time I put them where the washer and dryer is. As you can see, I was having problems with the blinds again. I wish we had these blinds in a darker color. I think I ended up using gray ones, like a beigey gray. I don't know. I'm horrible with colors, I'm sorry. But I do clutter up the place a bit more. I did not finish putting lights. See, I get so sidetracked when I do stuff. Sometimes it's frustrating when I watch these videos because I'm like, what the heck am I doing? But yeah, so another mirror because I love mirrors. I did try to fit my favorite mirror in this build, but ultimately I did remove it and use another mirror that I really liked. I liked what I did with the lights here too in the kitchen. I felt like it brightened up the space, and I personally would love to have brighter lights under, or rather on top of my counters, under my cupboards. I don't know the best way to describe it, but just when I have my back turned from the island counter and I'm facing my actual kitchen counters that are up against the wall, I find that it's a lot darker. And because of my culinary background, I would just prefer working with, food, with anything in the kitchen, so long as I have bright lights. If it's not bright, I feel like I don't know. I feel like I may be just blind, but I like having bright lights in the kitchen. So we actually did get smart lights for our kitchen, and they have a bright white feature, which I love. It's not quite like daylight lights, but almost. So then I was really excited about that. Of course, my husband was just more excited because we can control it with our voice and we can change the color. So it does a range of colors from like bright white to red to blue to pink to purple to green, which is kind of funny. And part of me is like, when are we ever going to use different colored lights? Unless we're trying to make our house look scary, But it's nice. I think it's nice to have the smart lights. Just because sometimes we can be lazy. Oh, I don't know. Is it really good though to be that lazy that you don't even want to turn on your lights? Now I'm like thinking about it. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Like if I'm sitting on the couch and I left the lights on, then yeah, for sure. It would be nice, but at the same time, it's just making me more lazy. Well, we have it now. What are we gonna do? I do like the look of this, like shelving on top of the toilet. The toilet does work. I did test that. So that was nice. And I also did not use the floor lamp I have in almost every single build in this home. So yay for that. I did use that crane, I don't know what to call it, that crane looking lamp instead, which I also really like, but I don't use it much. I don't know, I feel like I just love the floor lamp so much, just the look of it, that in almost every single build I have it. But I'm really happy that I'm not doing that in this one. I wanted to put paintings on that wall, but I couldn't find any that I liked in particular, that I liked particularly, that I liked. Why is it so hard for me to talk whenever I do these videos? I'm sorry. I think it's because it's really early in the morning, but I do clutter up the desk a little bit, and I like how it looks. It makes her look busy. Probably not the best to be working at home too, when you should, I am a firm believer in that you have to separate both work and your personal life as much as possible. Do not do stuff at home and just do all your work when you're at work. Unless your work allows you to work at home, then by all means do so, but still, I feel like you need to find that perfect balance, and the best way to do it is just not to think about work when you're at home. Don't stress about it, just leave everything behind, just focus on you, your family, your dog or your cat, your pets, whatever. And I try to do that too. The only times I find myself looking at my work emails back then was when I had a big event, when I had an event on the weekend and I had to text our coordinators to make sure everything went well, or if they needed to pre-shift for an event because I didn't work weekends and I was just working on the weekdays, but I did have events on the weekends. So those were the only times where I was like, okay, fine, I'll do something work related, but it wasn't always a very long period of time. It was always half an hour, maybe less than half an hour. So yeah, please balance your work life and your personal life. I had a coworker that even on her off days she would be responding to emails, and we were always telling her, like, please don't, like, you have a baby, please, spend time with your baby, with your husband, and just don't think about work. Don't look at your phone, don't look at your emails or whatever. She was getting better at it by the time I left, so I'm hoping that continues for her. I do a little bit of landscaping, which I'm super happy about. It was a lot of succulents and cacti, which also I really like. I would love to fill my house with succulents and cacti. And I did like a little fire pit too. I haven't checked if that worked. I probably should check if that worked. I don't see why it wouldn't. I put a little sitting area as well outside, and a punching bag, which you can remove if you want. You can put a treadmill or whatever. Actually, that doesn't make sense because you can just run around the community, so never mind, just remove the punching bag if you want to. But this is pretty much it. House is done. Screenshots should be coming up. Again, it is up on the gallery, so feel free to download it, put it in your world, leave any suggestions for future builds. I really liked doing this like smaller home, so expect more of that from me. And again, if you have any other suggestions, just let me know. You can comment below, comment on the gallery, and I'll definitely see that. So again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!